Police confirmed tonight a man was shot near the scene where young Dolph was gunned down.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Young Dolph. But really, we're not going to be talking about Young Dolph as much as the situation that took place at his memorial. Now, they had a vigil or a memorial, whatever you want to call it, where you pay your last respects to the community. They come to a place where everybody can pray or say kind words about the person who passed. And it's usually around the area where the person lost their life if it was something tragic like an accident or even a shooting, right? Well, there was a vigil for Young Dolph outside of the business where he lost his life. And sad to say, it got shot up, man. Now, people aren't too sure on the fact if the vigil got shot up or was it just somebody got shot at the vigil. You know what I mean? Because there's a distinction there. It would be different if somebody drove by and started shooting at the people, who were there to show their respects to Dolph, as opposed to people showing up to shoot somebody that they know was going to be there. Either way, it made headlines, and it seems like 3 suspects have been captured in the shooting. Now, before we get to the specifics and break down the clips and all that, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this Young Dolph situation, or at least the shooting at his vigil, right? Now, I'll be referencing a story from the local news there. I guess it's the News 3 affiliate in Memphis. And the headline says this. It says 3 arrested after Young Dolph Vigil shooting. So basically 3 guys got arrested, and it looks like these 3 characters right here, or not characters, I should say these 3 guys, these 3 dudes, right? They got arrested, and they're suspected to be involved in the shooting. Now the story starts off by saying this. It says Memphis, Tennessee. 3 men have been charged after police say they shot 1 person during Young Dolph's vigil on Thursday. Now, how do they charge 3 people with the shooting of 1 person, I'm wondering, man? Did they all 3 shoot him at the same time? I mean, were they all shooting? And that's probably why it caused such a ruckus and people were running and stuff if you've seen any of the footage from the vigil. But, man, it's wild to see 3 people charged with the shooting of 1 person, right? Now, it continues by saying it happened next door to Makeda's Cookies, where Memphis rapper Young Dolph was gunned down Wednesday. Fans of Young Dolph had set up a memorial for him in front of the store. The shooting victim was taken to the hospital in non-critical condition. Police said Terrance Jones, 23 years old, Jailon Nelvis, 19 years old, and McQueen, 22 years old, were driving north of Airways when they fired 1 shot into the crowd, striking the victim. Now, the local news there covered this story and talked about the arrest of these individuals. So, man, let's actually look at that clip for a second and break that down and then talk about it.
Police confirmed tonight a man was shot near the scene where young Dolph was gunned down. The victim in today's shooting on Airways Boulevard is now going to be okay. Police say that 3 suspects in this shooting are detained, with 1 person being put under arrest here at Kerr and Mississippi. The cause of the shooting is under investigation.
Now, in that news report, you heard that it took place right outside the vigil, as said before, but also that, police were quick on the investigation. I guess 1 guy was arrested at the scene, and then I'm pretty sure there was a large police presence there. I mean, you would only assume, due to the, all the eyes on this, how high profile the shooting was, somebody would be looking at the vigil like, okay, and have some officers stationed there. But I guess they eventually caught up to the other 2 guys, and the story continues like this. Now, also, man, before we get back to the story, they made this point to say. They said that they're not sure at this time if the shooting was involved with or had anything to do with Young Dolph, according to police at this time. So the story continues by saying this. It says, according to the affidavit, Jones was the gunman who fired the shot from the back seat of the vehicle. So you have 3 guys driving, and that's how you got 3 people, actually catching a charge for this case. So it's 3 of them in the car, and then you had 1 firing out the back seat, and they were driving, and I guess they tried to commit a drive-by, according to this story, right? Now, officers who were already on the scene followed the Nissan as the suspects tried to flee. Now, the suspects crashed on Kerr Ave and Mississippi Boulevard shortly after began fleeing on foot, police said. So that's how you get all that footage that everyone keeps showing about the shooting with the crashed vehicles. Because, I thought maybe it was because people were trying to flee the scene or whatever. But I guess the shooters, they crashed, the alleged shooters, I should say, the suspects, crashed their vehicle and fled on foot. So it became a foot race. You know what I mean? Now, police said that the three threw their handguns as they were getting out of the vehicle to run away. After catching the suspects, officers located 2 handguns in the street, 1 in a field, and 1 next to a garbage can, according to the affidavit. They also located 2 firearms inside of the car. Police stated that the Nissan, which was driven by McQueen, was stolen. So it looks like this was another planned shooting. They had multiple weapons on them, allegedly. They also had a stolen vehicle, and they were trying to get away with this. I mean, they planned it out at the Vigil, and they saw their target, according to these reports, shot at them, and then tried to get away, but ended up crashing, man. Now, due to the heavy police presence there, you would think they would just call it off, but I guess it meant so much to them to get at dude that they said, forget it, man. Now, the story finishes by saying this. It says the suspects were taken into custody and charged with aggravated assault, evading arrest, 3 counts of possession of prohibited weapon, 2 counts of reckless endangerment, 2 counts of theft of property, and 6 counts of unlawful possession of a weapon. All 3 are scheduled to appear in court on November 22nd. So that's the latest update, and that's probably the most information and most update you're going to get on this. But it's wild. I wonder what the backstory behind that is. Now, they say at this time they don't believe this had anything to do with Young Dolph, right? Or they don't know that it has anything to do with Young Dolph. They didn't rule it out. But that would be weird. How would they know dude was going to be at the Vigil? You know what I mean? Was he close to Young Dolph, or did somebody just give him hints that he was going to be out there? And this might just be some sort of street situation that ain't got nothing to do with Dolph, but it's wild, and somehow it's gotten entangled in this whole situation, man. It seems like one crime begets another shooting, begets another. And now we're sitting at a situation where we're waiting to see the news on if the suspects in Dolph's case are ever going to be caught. Because there's a lot of rumors out there. I see them all. I've seen people posting the pictures of the guys that they say it is them, who are posting with similar, or posted on social media with similar weapons and all that. But until it's official, man, I'm a stand back on that. But man, I am tuned in. I am tuned in. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this had anything to do with Young Dolph? I mean, why at his vigil? You know what I mean? Or do you think it's possible that, man, the dude who was shot is somehow tied to this situation with Young Dolph, or even close to Young Dolph, maybe a friend or something like that, so it's easy to find him at the Vigil and, shoot the memorial up while he was there. You know what I mean? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.